Hi, how are you doing today?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. Just trying to survive the summer weather, you know?
That bad, huh?
Yeah, well, I hear it's gonna get colder soon.
So, Pim, how have things been going since our last session?
Well, if I'm being perfectly honest,
That would be preferable.
well, you know, last time we talked about obsession and letting things go, but there is this other video game I've been replaying lately.
Another Silent Hill?
Yeah. But it's different this time. I mean, it's literally different every time I replay it. For example, you can play as a complete pervert, which also shifts the appearance of the people around him. Though as hard as I tried, I could never get the version of Officer Bennett with that skimpy outfit.
And why did you want to play as a pervert?
I don't know. As an experiment. For science.
Being a perv for science?
Sure.
Whatever makes you feel better.
I thought you were supposed to make me feel better.
I'm just here to provide you tools. It's up to you to use them.
Wow. You are better than Dr. Man.
Dr. Mann?
No, Man.
I feel like you're saying the same thing again.
Kaufman. Dr. Kaufman.
Was that an attempt at a joke?
No.
Now, you told me that playing this game, Shattered Memories, was for the sake of an experiment. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Well, not an experiment per se. The original Silent Hill had an inflexible story, with very few choices impacting the plot and characters. Since Shattered Memories is a remake or reimagining of that game, I wanted to test the boundaries of the new choice-making system, and what the changes have to say about the original Silent Hill.
I'd like some more context there. How does this choice-making system work exactly?
The game refers to it as a psychological profile. It pretty boldly says that it's gonna get to know who you really are and then use that information to change itself. It starts with Dr. Kaufman asking you to fill out a list of true or false statements like, I make friends easily, and I have enjoyed roleplay during sex. Some choices have more obvious consequences on your playthrough, like if you agree that drinking calms you down, the opening chapter will eventually take you to a bar instead of a diner. Though the effects of a choice like working to a plan or schedule is best might never fully reveal themselves to you.
And who are you in this scenario?
It's implied that you're playing as Harry Mason, the protagonist from the original Silent Hill, and just like in that game, he's looking for his missing daughter in the titular town. It's initially unclear whether the therapy session takes place before or after Harry's rescue mission, but either way, the mission is shaped by the therapy session.
So, Harry can also impact the plot while he's in Silent Hill?
Yeah, there are instances where the player can, for example, choose to go into one of two buildings. Both will take you to the next story beat, but will present different gameplay challenges. The game also takes note of the environmental details you decide to examine. Looking at a family photo tells the game that your brain is focused on your mission to find Cheryl, and looking at a naughty poster tells the game that a different body organ has taken the reins. Sorry, that was a terrible joke.
The way you're describing this, it seems to me like there's a rigidity to the way the game determines your personality. Like, you're either a family man or a pervert.
There are other outcomes too. 4 in total. The game cuts back to that session several times, so you're granted just as many opportunities to alter the course of the narrative. But you ultimately end up with a Harry who was either a good father, a player, a drunk, or a victim of physical abuse at the hands of his wife, who grossly justifies it by pointing to his lack of breadwinning. And then there's the canon UFO ending, of course.
The what?
This is where the promise of the game learning who you really are is revealed to be a lie. Like, during my first playthrough, I decided to fill in those true or false statements in a way that reflected my real-life worldview. I picked true for the statement about a drink being relaxing, to which Dr. Kaufman then made the ludicrous jump that I will one day die from an overdose of alcohol.
Well, I can definitely see why you prefer me over Kaufman.
It's just that, as you said, the game has these rigid boxes it tries to fit you into, to the point that it almost comes off as politically conservative. You like sex? You're an unfaithful degenerate. You like alcohol? You're a no-good drunk. You struggle with social interactions? Be a man and hit your abusive wife back. It's only when you focus on being a family man that the game seems to think you're worth a damn.
Well, if you want my diagnosis, sounds like a clashing of lofty artistic ambitions and technological and logistical reality. Like they lacked the time and resources to flesh out more nuanced choices and outcomes.
I think you're right about that. Still, that the game contains that kind of moralizing just rubs me the wrong way.
But that's not all there is to your experiment, is there?
No, I'm still stuck on the fact that this is a remake, reimagining, or whatever the devs wanted to call it. I know this was supposed to be a completely original entry called Silent Hill Cold Heart with an even more ambitious profiling system. Climax Studios didn't set out to do a remake, but when the publishers at Konami thrust that task upon them, the studio compromised, taking those initial plans and adapting them. Even so, I believe there's something here, deliberate or not, that serves as a commentary on the original Silent Hill. I just don't know how to articulate it. Something about nostalgia?
Go on.
Like, the opening credits are displayed over home video footage of Harry and his daughter, playing and rewinding on repeat, as if someone is desperately trying to relive these particular moments. The scanline effects can also be seen during the game's chase sequences, which just so happen to start every time Harry gets real close to some kind of plot revelation, at which point the town and any character Harry is currently interacting with turn to ice. So, what does this VHS aesthetic actually mean?
Well, what is a video recording? It's a memory that you choose to save and relive. And by choosing what to save and what to forget, you're actively constructing your own reality and identity. The things you record set those memories in stone and help to preserve them indefinitely. But if they don't show everything, do they? You don't see all the things that you chose not to record. The argument that happened just before, or the more messy, unplanned moments you didn't want to hit record on. That will all fade over time, leaving gaps that your imagination fills in. It seems to me that it's those gaps that Shattered Memories wants to explore.
That's...
As for the world freezing over, it sounds like Harry has something he doesn't want to address or confront. So when he's forced into a situation like that, he blocks everything out and sees no other choice than to run away. I can only assume that whatever is chasing him is the physical representation of his fear of facing whatever he's repressing.
I 100% agree. Your choices also affects the appearance of Harry's enemies, so they are most definitely connected to his fears in some way.
I want to go back a bit though. Earlier you said that it's implied that you're playing as Harry Mason. What did you mean by that?
Well, as it turns out, the character you're playing as during the therapy session is actually Harry's grown-up daughter Cheryl, trying to come to terms with the passing of her father. The Harry that you play in Silent Hill is simply her idea of who her father was, and those unpleasant memories are actually what Cheryl is attempting to repress.
So, none of the events in Silent Hill actually happened?
Yeah, every event, every character Harry meets, they're all reflections of different parts of Cheryl's own subconscious. The relationship between Michelle and John, for example, mirrors that of Cheryl's parents, and the breakdown of their marriage.
I feel like this changes things.
How so?
Well, if you're not actually playing as Harry, but as an interpretation of who he was, it's not so strange that he's reduced to one of 4 archetypes. I mean, if he died while Cheryl was young, she never really had the chance to see him through the eyes of an adult, to see him as the multifaceted person that he truly was.
You know, I can't help but think of 2 of my grandparents. They're dead now, and I never got a chance to meet either of them. All I ever learned about them was that they were abusive alcoholics. That's all they've ever been to me. I'll never know what led them to become abusive. I don't know what led them to use alcohol as a means of trying to fix their problems. As an adult, I can understand that there were factors that led them there, but I will never know what those factors were. So, I guess it's not that strange that Harry could potentially be reduced to nothing else but a drunk.
I appreciate you sharing that story, Pim.
Yeah, well, feels a bit weird to start talking about Silent Hill now.
Do we have to?
Okay, so I think I'm starting to connect some dots. I mean, look at the 2002 remake of Resident Evil. Sure, it remixed some of the iconic moments from the original, but it's still recognizably Resident Evil. Shattered Memories, on the other hand, adds, changes, and removes so much that it's disorienting. Dahlia was the main antagonist of the original game, a cult leader. Here, she's Harry's wife. Dr. Kaufman was moonlighting as a self-serving drug dealer. Now he's a well-meaning, albeit slightly unhinged therapist. You don't fight a rebirthed demon god by the end of Shattered Memories. You don't fight anything or anyone at all. It's just Cheryl, coming to terms with her grief. Shattered Memories is like a playable account of someone who remembers the original Silent Hill completely wrong.
Or maybe someone who understands what it was actually always about.
What do you mean?
Well, to me, it's starting to seem like the major theme here isn't necessarily nostalgia, but parenthood. The original Silent Hill is about parenthood from the perspective of a father. Shattered Memories is about parenthood from the perspective of a child. And both stories exaggerate those perspectives through metaphor. A parent who has lost their child would walk through hell to get them back, no matter how many demons they have to face on the way. Cheryl, on the other hand, doesn't want to face those demons, choosing instead to run away or try to freeze them in place.
Holy crap. I think that's it. It explains so much. It even explains the visual environmental differences. The original's reddish earth tones contrasting with the cold blues of Shattered Memories. The game is not a remake, nor reimagining. It's a response. It contrasts the original. In a way, it perfectly complements the rest of the Mason family saga, where Shattered Memories is about Cheryl reflecting on her father, and Silent Hill 3 sees her enduring a forced pregnancy, potentially becoming a parent herself. You know, Silent Hill 2 animator Takeuchi Sato once talked about the series being about sex and death, but a good chunk of the series is more specifically about parenthood. Walter Sullivan was abandoned by his parents in Silent Hill 4, Travis Grady has to come to terms with the death of his parents in Silent Hill Origins, and Murphy Pendleton ends up in prison because he wants to take revenge on the guy who murdered his son in Silent Hill Downpour. Shattered Memories is no outlier in the series. It's emblematic of one of the most central themes of the entire franchise.
Good. So, what is the lesson here?
That the UFO ending actually is canon.
No.
Fuck!
You said that the psychological profile is designed to read you, the player, not Cheryl. It's her story, but it's your actions, the way you determine where the story should go, that affects the outcome. Why do you believe that is?
Because...
Come on, you almost got it.
I don't know.
You said it before.
What?
That the game feels like the account of someone who wrongly remembers the original.
Wait. I think I got something.
Go on.
The shattered memories aren't Cheryl's. Well, they are, but more importantly, they're the players.
Elaborate?
You said that the game peers between the gaps of the remembered and forgotten. That the game represents a different personal perspective of the original. Well, what if your choices aren't just there to make each player's experience unique, but to highlight our very personal perspectives of what the original game was? The series has always encouraged personal interpretations. Like, to me, Silent Hill 2 is 100% intended to be the tale of a man who faces a terrible thing he has done and moves on. Others don't believe that to be the canonical ending at all. But given the game's multiple endings, which are achieved through player choice, there's validity in both readings. Art designer Masahiro Ito even tweeted that there is no canonical ending to the game whatsoever. And I mean, Silent Hill F and the short message even take place in completely different countries and cultures, while still retaining the feel of their predecessors. I think the mere existence of Silent Hill F in particular has taught us a lesson that Shattered Memories tried to teach us 16 years ago. That Silent Hill goes beyond lore and iconography. Our memories of what Silent Hill was, what it's supposed to be, may differ. But it is what you bring into the fog, and what you take with you once you leave, that matters most.
Well then, I feel like we've reached something resembling closure here. Maybe you can finally put all of this Silent Hill stuff behind you and... What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just,
Playing another Silent Hill game?
Look, I could have had an addiction way worse than this. Like heroin. Or Kingdom Hearts. Thank you so much for watching. And a special thanks to all the people who made this video possible. Here are some of them. 12p! On a Day. Callum Wally. Chromatophorium. D.E. Wright. Eben Phantom. Emmeline. Eric Hamilton Schneider. Eva Leigh Shantz. Håvard Krugerud. Icarus Harker. Jesse Earl. Kalis. Labbies. Losty. Nicole. Quillightful. Rowan Woodcock. Sable Cow. Setsard. TB Skyen. The Sphere Hunter. And Vinders. I also want to thank Hot Cider for the thumbnail, Freja Karolina for the Therapy Plus jingle and sound effects, Hamish of the YouTube channel Writing on Games for editing the script, and of course, Pixel a Day for being my fake therapist for this video. You'll find all their links in the video description. The next video, if you couldn't already tell, is gonna be on Silent Hill Book of Memories. I hope to see you then.